Sup, nerds? This week we're gonna try something different. Every time I say the word Broadway, I'm gonna take a shot.
Shit-faced.
I'm Mike Danvers. And this is Talking Shots.
So chief, his son return to the blade and slice shade, getting paid until my silhouette fades. A mercenary.
What do you think of when I say the word Broadway? That's not even 2 seconds in. First thing that comes to mind is a big grandiose musical like Wicked or Phantom of the Opera. Or maybe it's a show with a tearjerker soundtrack like Dear Evan Hash Brown. Broadway is nothing like your community theater's production of Rent. Oh, well, there's number 2. 3? Broadway is interesting because it's one of the few places in the world where theater can cost almost as much as a Hollywood production. Meaning the experience of seeing Wicked on Broadway, Jesus Christ, we're already at number 3. It's nothing like your community theater's production of Rent. As much as your high school drama teacher hates this, Broadway really is about the spectacle. That was number 4, wasn't it? Oh, dude. What have I done? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking puke. These shows are getting really expensive, and with the upped cost of production for a lot of these shows, theaters are less and less privy to take risk. Is privy a word? That's not a word, is it? Hence why, unless it's Harry Potter, most Broadway shows that you hear about or even care about are musicals. Modern theater knows its audience. Modern theater also knows the importance of the cast album. A big reason shows even survive is because a cast album exists. Bonnie and Clyde closed a month after it opened, and the only reason you even know that show exists is because the cast album was released. Hell, Stephen Schwartz even said oh my god. Stephen Schwartz even said in an interview that the only reason people still care about Children of Eden is because there's a cast album for it. Oh my god, this is gonna be way more difficult than I thought it was gonna be. Let's keep it real for a second. High school boys love Lost in the Wilderness. Which brings me to the question, who on God's green earth looked at King Kong and said, damn, that needs to be a Broadway musical? That counts, doesn't it? I can't do this. I mean, technically it hits all the check boxes. It's a known brand, it's a musical, it's expensive. Is the music good? It is the most bland and generic musical I've heard in a long time. I'm not the only one who thought so, apparently. It sounds like what a parody of a King Kong musical would sound like. Also, that being said, who's supposed to take a King Kong musical seriously? Well, I guess the people that took Toxic Avenger, Heathers, and The Wedding Singer seriously. But you could make the argument that that shows at least had catchy soundtracks. This show does not. Also, it's f***ing King Kong the musical. Theater does not exist in a vacuum. A show's music is only part of the equation here. A cast album simply can't give you the story, performance, and our friend spectacle that a show can. A real live show. We're all guilty of it, but seriously, think about it. How many shows can you say you're seriously a fan of going just off of the cast album? Can you really like a show you've never seen? Or is it that you just like the music? When I walked into that Broadway theater, damn it, I did this to myself, but it's also been a hot minute, so I'll take it. I just gotta remember that I wrote this. Wow, that is way too much. When I walked into that theater and I saw the opening number, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. Seeing this big dance number for a King Kong musical was a little silly. The moment that 26-foot tall gorilla stepped on stage, all of a sudden I didn't care that the music was basically discount Greatest Showman, which, let's keep it real, is discount Fall Out Boy. I could not keep my eyes off of this giant puppet. The animatronics in the face were so natural, you honestly believed that King Kong was real and on stage. And they didn't do much to hide the fact that it's a puppet, but that's kind of part of the show. Seeing 10 puppeteers on stage manipulating this giant puppet, climbing up its back and jumping off just to make the arm move, was something that you had to see in person. Honestly, I never thought I would forget that there is a puppet on stage, but somehow they made it happen. Because the puppet felt so real, the show felt real. All of a sudden, you forget about the songs, you forget about the fact that it's a King Kong musical, and you just care about what's going on stage. Because the puppet sells you. Even if they do their best not to hide all the strings, it's still something to behold. Your suspension of disbelief starts to take over. Would I buy the cast album? No. But if I was given the chance to see the show again, I would do it in a heartbeat. Spectacle is not a bad thing. If spectacle is somebody's introduction to theater, then that's better than the whole art form falling into obscurity. Whether it be Wicked, Phantom, Dear Evan Hansen, or even King Kong, getting people to the theater will never be a bad thing. All I'm gonna say is I will never forget the day I saw a giant 26-foot gorilla on Broadway. I had to write that. Of course I did. Of course I had to write that. If you ever get the chance, please, I highly recommend. It's going to be a silly, silly experience, but it's going to be one that's going to be unforgettable. And at the end of the day, if you remember it, was it really that bad? So what do you guys think? What are some of your favorite cast albums that made you fall in love with the show? What are some shows that you love the music to but haven't seen yet? I am not entirely sober, so editing this isn't going to be fun. We have t-shirts. You can buy them at this website, link in the description and wherever else this video will find its way to. Did I have fun doing this? No, I did not. You shouldn't mix rum and whiskey. That's a bad idea. If you haven't, don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And if you're subscribing on YouTube, click the bell icon, because then it'll actually subscribe you to the channel. I'm your boy Mike Dangerous. Don't do this. Drunk Mike hates sober Mike.